media outlets are showing you that this asset is going from 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, all the way up to 600,000 and more. There are even guys who predict $1 million Bitcoin. And you are confused. You're asking, can I buy now and 10x my portfolio using Bitcoin? And the truth is, you buy low and sell high to make profit, right? So that is how the whales are becoming the whales. So you need to look at the project, understand the fundamentals, how the project is evolving, and then look at where it's in that market cycle. You look at the fundamentals, and then if that asset is in still wave 1 or wave 2 in its market cycle, yeah, it's fine to be in that one. Instead, if you are buying into an asset in its wave 3, it's risky. If you're buying into an asset when it's correcting after wave 2, for wave 3, yeah, you'll still get some upside, but you're not finding the optimum asset to be in this bull market. And that's why you need to do proper analysis for your assets. We as a team are slowly reducing exposure to assets in wave 3 or assets which are correcting after wave 2. So most of them are happy as the portfolio is growing and hitting our targets greatly. It's not only one we are going through and hitting the targets, it's like a lot of different assets are going on. And as we highlight to different guys, if you are in this particular asset, you can actually look at this, you can actually look at that. We are kind of breaking out, we are getting to this target, we give in that information. Now, what do you think about XRP? We need to detail it, that's true. But looking at the fundamentals and the charts, it's so easy to understand this asset right now. Say for example, this is a 3-day chart zoomed out, looking all the way from 2018 till now, and it's like, okay, we got something there. It's breaking out. Now you step in and look at it just last 1 year, and you're like, okay, so we just broke above this level. We faked out a little bit. Right now this candle is moving to the upside, so the potential upside is still there. But the RSI has not yet broken above the resistance. Fine. So what does it mean? We need to step a little more in to look at that. So we step into a 1-day chart and then look at the same scenario. This one was a 3-day chart of this time frame, and now we are looking at the same closing in to understand this. We came near that, we hit that resistance and closed that day there. Next day we went in, we broke above that one, but sellers thought this is going to happen, that fake out, we're going all the way down immediately to the bottom. They entered there, but the RSI shows now we are bouncing back. Price is breaking out, right? So the previous close here gave you that idea, okay, we are nearing that. Wait for the change in the market. So here you got that close, but the difference is you got a hammer there, right? A hanging man or hammer, whatever you say in the price action, but you got that idea that it's gonna go down. Here again, you got that long wick and you went down. You repeated the same here, but here there is something different. Now if this day, that's today, is gonna close in green above this particular resistance line, see this week, if it actually does that, it's gonna be bullish. Say you can move into a weekly chart of XRP and then look at the same stuff. So weekly is gonna close, and if this weekly close is gonna give you that bullish indicator, you are in for a ride. Whether you believe that or not, you are going to be in for a ride. Now just floating that one would give you confusion. Instead, if you know what you are dealing with, you have to look at this area, that's the support resistance zone, and we are going through that on a weekly. Look at the RSI, it's trending to the upside. Now this is short-term kind of stuff which you are looking at there. Instead, when you zoom out and look at this stuff on a long-term scenario, you get like this. Okay, so we are now in the macro perspective where we are changing to the upside, and yeah, there would be guys who are just ignorant to this fact that we are in a bull market, because the low here was 0.11 and right now we are flirting around 0.6, right? So as we move and break above this particular level, which is 0.75, you need to look at different targets, and as you move up, the targets remain like this, right? As you move up 0.64, fine, then 0.9, 1.2, you're gonna go higher. So let's actually dig into the altcoin market cap, Bitcoin dominance, and then see what really is happening in the market. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. So as we look at this particular stuff, this is Bitcoin. Okay, so why are we talking about Bitcoin here? Because I would be taking you guys into Bitcoin dominance and the next leg and the leg after that to see what is going to happen for altcoins, right? So for you to understand this particular scenario, first you need to understand this, and for that one you need to see this one. That's BTC. Now this is on a daily. BTC is showing you we had a pattern, we were moving to the upside, we were respecting that particular line, and as you can see, the moving average was kind of following this particular trend, and then it started going down a little but still moving up, going down a little, still moving up, but the price is getting closer and closer to the moving average. So now if you actually go into BTC chart on a long term scenario to understand, okay, what does that mean? Moving average is getting closer, price is moving to that, price fluctuation zone is nearing to the moving average. What does it actually mean? If you want to look at that, first either you can look at this bull market cycle of this market cycle, or then you can actually go look at this stuff. Okay, we were closing in, we were closing in, we were closing in, we broke below that, but eventually we went back up. We did that once, twice, third time, fourth time, didn't actually dip that much, but yeah, possibility are that we are going to go down from the moving average. Okay, so if you take that one into account, that we are going to break below the moving average, you can potentially even see 40,000, or if we don't hold that level, we may even go down. But remember, we have a support line at 46 and then this one at 51. So if we are not holding that level here, we are going to go down. Now look at this pattern. It's like we broke to the downside, fine, the moving average was there as an immediate support, we bounced. Now what happened? We didn't actually come back into this trading range, instead we got rejected. So if we are breaking this moving average, on at least for my eyes in this view, it's actually bearish. We are going to go all the way down till this bottom, which would be the target if you are looking at technicals, right? So that's like $30,000. Yeah, people may disagree, but you know, that's the part of it. Now, taking that into consideration, you're moving in towards Bitcoin dominance on a daily and zoomed in view. Now you're looking at this, okay, as we talked when we were here back in say May or March, say late March, when we were talking about this stuff, you knew that we are going to go down. We were breaking down and I told, okay, this is where we are going to end. And we had a wick here. So that following day I told, yeah, we are going to move down towards this end and alts are getting room to run. And as you see, different alts running 3,000%. Now I didn't get that, but yeah, others like BTT and a lot others which we had in our portfolios were kind of ballooning. Now that's how you make the most of it, right? It's not only one asset which is working for you, it's the market working for you, right? You put that into that perspective. Now as we break below this, what are you looking at? Now this would be like, you know, that miniature altcoin season where you see that 10, 20, 30, 50% in the weekly gains. But this is going to be another area where the price can drop up to 20%. Now, if that does happen, that's going to be that monster wave which you see in altcoins. Because once you close here, the dominance breaks below that, definitely money is going to move into different markets, and that's altcoins. Which altcoin? It depends on where it's in the market cycle, and is it still a value option? And one of that value option is XRP. if you are looking at XRP on a long-term scenario, you understand that clearly. So looking at the XRP chart on a long term, say you can use a daily chart, 3-day or weekly, it's up to you. But say when you are using this, what you have to understand is how this line of deviation is acting. You can see how it varied here. Then you can look at the next one. So what do you see here? It's a capitulation happening. Okay, we went down. The entire range was moving like this as a channel. And when the price is kind of moving inside a parallel line, that's like, okay, that's a reversal. That's a correction. The trend is going to change. I told you guys back then. Those who were following me during this time from the November know that the trend is going to change as we go down, accumulate. We did that, and now those who look at this stuff, they'll definitely understand the trend has changed. Before was negative, now it's positive. Now within that positive range, what you are right now looking at is that the price is going to move all the way towards $1, right? When you are reaching and slowing down, breaking up, moving here, that's $1 mark, which would still be inside that pattern, right? Which would still be following this particular pattern. So even when the price is reaching $1 mark, you have to understand we are nearing another breakout. So if price is reaching that $1 mark, if others are going to say, okay, we are near resistance, yeah, I do agree, 0.91 it's resistance, but look out for a breakout. If that breakout is happening there, as we told, we are going to bounce from this level when we were here, and again when we were here, and again when we were here. Those who listened to us more did that more leg inside. So as we move up, what are you looking at next? Okay, 0.8, 0.9, that's fine. Now if we break out, now we need to understand that the average movement to the upside would be 69% towards a maximum of 189, 190% from the breakout. So say you're going to take that into account, you're going to put that into an average, and you're going to end up something like 120%. Fine. Now say you're breaking out here and you're reaching that 120%, you are now around $2. What would you do if XRP breaks out at that level and reach $2 and you're still thinking, okay, the price is going to go down and I'm going to buy more? Now, unless we break out of this pattern, you do have to understand, if we are moving inside a pattern, chances are high that we may still move inside that pattern, but the difference is happening here. The moving average is closer to the upside, the resistance. Last two times it was at the median first, then near the support, but right now it's near the resistance. So when it is bouncing from the moving average, chances are high that it may break out. But if it doesn't, if it's actually happening like this, think that the price is going to come back down to the moving average again before it breaks higher. So these stuff has to be kept in your mind as you see stuff happening. Now, let's actually look at a couple of this stuff, which is really interesting, and it's providing you with that information which you need. Because right now you can see the fundamental is changing. The market is showing you that we are going to cross. And as we close here, now this is a different analyst and his opinions are, valid. But it's somewhat similar to what we just said. Then we are looking at the use case of this asset which we are talking about. But now, yeah, let's start with this.
I've worked with Ripple actually dating back to 2014, so I know them pretty well, not as much in recent years. But while I was still at Morgan Stanley, actually, we took a pretty deep dive with a corporate client on this very question of how do we actually help the corporate clients save money on their cross-border payments. And Ripple is absolutely trying to solve the problem that a lot of folks are trying to solve and coming at it from many different directions. They were the first enterprise company that I met at Morgan Stanley, and had they come in to talk about Bitcoin, they wouldn't have gotten a meeting. But because they had come in to talk about something non-Bitcoin and applying the non-Bitcoin blockchain to real-world problems, they got the meeting, and then it took off. So you're right; they absolutely have played an important part.
If you are understanding this particular point, then yeah, you are moving to the next one. Whereas if the institutions, the corporations want an asset or a blockchain which is favorable for them in terms of payment, the friction being reduced there, the cost associated going down and other stuff, Now you understand what they would be suggesting towards central banks and what central banks would like to do. Central bank, yeah, we can say it's completely democratic, if you would like to say that, but that's not the reality, right? They would always first give priority to the institutions, the giants, and if the giants are also saying this, that's going to be crazy. Now let's actually go through some area of this video.
I'm the president of the European Central Bank. There is a governing council that brings together all the national central bank governors as well as members of the executive board. And the decision as to whether or not we will move with the digital euro will be taken by that organ, the governing council.
Remember, she is heading that central bank, European Central Bank, and she's talking about all the national central banks are coming in. So if they are going to take this action for a new central bank digital currency, which is going to be common for all of them, which they are all going to use that particular stuff, the exposure is now central bank digital currency. The ledger is there, right? So if you are looking at the other horizon, say, you can say, okay, there are the blockchains which are getting attention from banks. Fine, that's where we were looking at the initial stage. Okay, quant was like getting more and more adoption from banks. Now, if it's from central banks, you have to understand central bank digital currency era would be controlled by central banks, not directly by the banks. So there's a huge difference between a central bank adoption and corporate bank, private bank adoption, right? So when you are looking at the interledger protocol and central banks like Bank of England stating, okay, we ran through that system and we understand that the efficiency is so high in that it's easy to get money from one area to another, that's going to be easy for them. Now, if you actually listen to full of this one, you can actually follow Mr. Yo-Yo, or I have actually retweeted in my Twitter. Now, the main stuff here is that they are actually talking about the new payment infrastructure on which the money would be moving. Now, why are they doing that? The cost associated with this is one concern. Next one is the UN's agenda, right? The 2030, the sustainable green climate change is being focused. So when you are looking at the entire crypto perspective, you're looking at various different assets, you need to understand. Majority does agree this. Right now you have 4,000, 5,000 different assets, but not every coin is going to survive. In a bull market, it can go up, it's fine, but the ROI would be limited. And if you are stuck holding that during the bear market, it can even go towards zero. If that project is going bankrupt, if that project has regulatory issues, if it doesn't go to zero, it can drop 50, 80, 90, 100%. Right? That has to be considered. Where it started, if it started from 0.1, it can go back to that 0.1 level and stay there for a long time. So regulations are something which you need to consider when you are entering this market. Right? So as we break out here, you now know what to look at. Now, in the altcoin, generally, you are looking at this. Okay, we broke out, we are consolidating, and this particular candle on a daily is showing you a continuation pattern. As we close in green, that's going to be a continuation pattern. As the market continues to rally, if you are on the right coins at the right time frame, you're going to make most of it by reducing your risk exposure. And if you are looking at something like that and you need some kind of support, assistance, opinion, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. You are going to get the maximum value for your bucks. Now, if you received value for your time, please do support the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.